We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order this time, and we'll start with the invocation by Ken Smith from the church.
Father in heaven, we thank you for a beautiful day today. All that was accomplished, all the good that was done here. But we give you thanks that we could do anything. We thank you for our leaders here tonight that have decisions to make. May they do them fairly, justly, rightly. We thank you for our workers, staff, the leaders within each department. Keep them safe. Again, just servants of one another. We thank you for our friends and citizens that we know well, and also those others that we don't know or may never meet. May we serve one another, no matter who it is. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start with the roll call.
Mayor Jeff Phillips.
Here.
Clerk Treasurer Shelby Keys. Here. Council members Russ Overton.
Here.
Kevin Arnold.
Here.
Noah Weiser.
Here.
Jeff Rayburn.
Here.
And Ernest Watson Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Todd Sammons.
Here.
Building Commissioner Jacob Hall.
Here.
Cemetery Caretaker Joe Eppinger.
Here.
Fire Chief Kenny Haun.
Here.
Police Chief Matt Anderson.
Here.
Utility Office Manager Heather Smart. Here. Manager of Electric Operations Steve Malone.
Here.
Park Superintendent Heather Hall. Here.
Annie.
And Street Water Sewer Sanitation Bryce Black.
Here.
And Gas Superintendent Todd Wilson.
Here.
All right, Council, you were given the minutes of last meeting. How would you like to act on those?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Been a motion, a second to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Council. Moving on, our next section is for citizens' comments. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the council this time? All right. Hearing none, we'll start with our agenda. And to start with is Jasper County Community Services funding request. Sharon Coley.
Thank you. Good evening. I think you have all the paperwork. I'm just here to get your answers.
So I looked at it and before, and Council President came by this afternoon to see where we were at contribution-wise, and I'll leave it up to you to go from there. Just before, we were just having a discussion. There was a lot of things up in the air with Senate Roll Act 1.
Heard about that.
Not so much this year, but for the next 2 years, we were just talking, we were going to have to sit down with our accountants and ensure what kind of tax funding we've got coming in. Because they talked about changing the way to do that was to help with income tax, make up the difference that we're going to lose in property tax. But then, for whatever reason, our legislature pushed back the lit tax to start in 2029. So, just want to preface that, and I'll turn it over to Noel.
Yeah, you were requesting 12,000. So I talked with the mayor and I talked with Shelby today too, or yesterday with Shelby, or Friday. I don't know what day it was, but anyway. Just to make sure that we are covered there, and I think we budgeted 10 according to the mayor, but Shelby says we have the funds to do the 12, and I would like to make a proposal to council if you're all in agreement that we do the $12,000 donation for transportation.
Make a motion to accept that $12,000 gift.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second to approve the funding for $12,000 to Jasper County Community Services. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Council. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I realize you have a lot on your agenda, and we do consider that. I know each year is not a representative of the following year. We know how the budgets go, so we appreciate the consideration. We continue to provide the best transportation, safe, and definitely consistent with what we've done in the past, and we'll continue to do so. So thank you.
We look forward to coming out when the vehicle gets in.
It'll be here. We'll
I know
definitely
a couple
give you
of
a
us will
call.
probably be there.
Thank you all so much. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting me on the agenda early, too. Thank you.
You bet. Next on our agenda is the Appleseed contribution. Diane, you're up.
Zion Woodema or Miller?
I did have one on there, didn't I?
Like that kind of tells you how long someone has known me in this room.
Well, old neighbors,
Yeah, so did you put my name on there or?
it might have been.
I looked at it, I'm like, Woodema, okay. Hi guys, I'm here with Appleseed Childhood Education. I am here with 3 board members. I have Bobby Joe, Patty, Megan, and then I have Tammy with Right Steps, our managing partner. I'm asking for $100,000 in contribution and support from you guys. I've provided expenses, income, where our parents work and live, and in my day job, I cover 32 counties. I'm an economic development specialist for an electric cooperative. And we are the only community that is doing this and doing it successful from the ground up in a very rural area. We struggle all over Indiana with this problem, and I'm happy that I can be like, hey, we're doing this in Rensselaer, my hometown. So I just want to open it up to questions. I provided you guys with a lot of information and just see what you have, and you can ask us anything. We have Tammy here to also answer any questions that I can't answer. And Patty, she's our treasurer.
Well, first of all, thank you for the information. I think a lot of us were looking for this a couple of years ago. It would have been a lot smoother, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you for that information, especially who's utilizing the facility. That was important.
Yeah,
I think to me.
we're also working with, I don't know, I don't want to exactly say the name because it's,
Right.
but we're working with a potential educator in the community for adult education to provide childcare to, I think it was around 23 students come summer, fall.
Wow.
I can say the name, St. Joe.
Wow.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that partnership as well, and being able to provide childcare for those men and women that are taking the next step in their education and need childcare.
One of the questions that comes up, and I know not all of us have a crystal ball, but what do you see in the future for funding from the state or federal level for, anyway,
I got Tammy.
for childcare? I mean, and how many times have we've had our federal elected officials and state elected officials there?
Yep.
Everybody agrees,
Right.
but what can the mayor do
Yes.
in a couple of weeks when I sit down with the governor and say,
Yeah.
come on, man. I mean,
Yeah, well, Tammy Lindblom, I'm the CEO at Right Steps. Just like everywhere else, childcare has taken a huge hit this last year from the state of Indiana. Probably harder than most. Every program that was supportive of childcare has been cut. And our biggest cut has come from the voucher program, which has supported probably about 54% of the families that attend Appleseed. We had worked really hard to get our reimbursement rate in this county raised, and when that happened, they not only stopped the vouchers, but decreased the amount we're reimbursed. The board at Appleseed has done everything they can, as you probably see in some of their waiving those extra fees for families. But there have been some positive things. Actually, there's a budget hearing this weekend. There is some frog money. That frog account suddenly appeared, and Bill was able to add childcare to that bill. Now, the whole amount of money will not go to vouchers, but my understanding this week, there is a hearing that may reissue some of those funds back to communities. So that would be a plus. Not sure when that's going to happen. There are other bills out. One is to support businesses with tax credits with 500 employees or less. Some really good things around that. That will be, just like you all, that will be, we know, come next year. So this year, we have to make it through this year. And that really is the hard pull right now. Our enrollment has dropped just because of the fact these families are not able to get on funding. And again, Appleseed Board has reduced the fee that they're paying, so more families can really go to work and come and have, again, I want to say, that quality care that families need to have. I just was in Washington, D.C. advocating, spoke with many legislators at that time, and I used this community as an example as I talked with people, and they're like, rural Rensselaer, they did this. They built this center, and it is working. It's been a positive, and all the work that's in it, we just want to see it continue, and our struggle is this next year as well. So I always have hope. I've been in this field now for 45 years, so I've seen the web and flows, and I really believe that at some point it will come back around because the state's losing money in economic development because of childcare not being provided.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great answer.
And like Tammy said, our board is, we do require like a deposit to come in, a fee for like supplies and other things, and we have waived those for families because of the struggle that everyone's going through right now. And we've also, with the voucher system, the parents were going to have to pay for that overage, and we don't want them to pay for that overage, because if they couldn't pay for it before, how are they going to pay for it now? So that's not our responsibility, or that's not our mission as Appleseed to make families pay more for quality care. We need to be able to provide that to our community and advocate for that.
I will say, though, that we meet with families about every 3 months to see what more they can pay. So they just don't come in and pay that amount, but we are having those one-on-one meetings. Can you afford $10 more? Can you afford $20 more? And just making sure that they're also being responsible for the care that their children are receiving. So,
Well, the quality of product that you put out is fantastic.
thank you.
So thank you for doing that. I don't know how many times I've been there, but every time I'm impressed.
Yep.
So thanks.
You're welcome.
Any questions, council?
So does the parents pay anything? I mean, someone pays something.
Everybody pays something.
Oh, everybody
Yes.
pays
Everybody
something.
pays something.
Yes,
Yes.
just the voucher, with the kids that were on vouchers, if their voucher got cut,
Yeah.
then let's say the voucher that we were receiving, this is just an example, was $170 normally. Well, now it got cut to $50. So that parent would be responsible for that extra $120. And when you do that times 4, and you're only making $500 a week,
It's your whole check.
that's your whole check. So how are you supposed to go to work
Yeah, right.
and make more money if you
Yeah.
can't even afford childcare?
I did have a discussion with a couple of my past coworkers who are around the same age as Mrs. Miller here. They both live in Chicago, and they pay around $3,000
Yeah.
a month for
Yeah.
childcare.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really believe in this program.
Yeah.
I do believe it's part of our infrastructure. We did budget some funding in there, but it also has to come with that caveat that next year,
Yeah.
our stuff's still up in the air.
Right, and we
We
are.
had a good idea, I think, what we were gonna get, and now,
We are also working, I've upped like our fundraising, sent out letters to businesses, trying to get more people to fund us. I've applied for grants, and we also, with this list that I sent you of employers, we are going to hopefully get together like a luncheon to discuss a co-share model. So then they can be paying into their employees' childcare and provide that as a extra benefit to them. So then we can take in some more of those funds and hopefully make up the gap. Because I think our loss from the vouchers was about $144,000 a year is what we're going to lose.
Well, see, that was one of the things I was wondering about,
Yeah.
the industry around here. Because we got some people from the outside, you know, with your matrix that you showed us. Yeah, people from the outside that's using that child care too. And, you know, I don't want to be one of those that, oh, well, if you bring your kid from the outside, I can't do that. But somehow, industry, you know, I know y'all gonna go after them, but it's just,
I think this tax credit offer and the co-share, tri-share may offer some extra opportunities that have never been there before for businesses. So, yeah. And I think, you know, again, I know, you know, when people come into your community, they are probably going to the coffee shop or, you know, supporting somehow. They're here, at least for the day. So, yeah.
Well, I think too, without childcare like we have with
Yes.
Appleseed, it makes it more difficult to draw
Yeah.
people in.
That's right.
Because young parents, that's one of the first things they
Yeah.
probably look for is the
Yeah.
childcare, the schools, and those kinds of things. But thank you for
Yes.
what you're doing for our community. As the mayor said, this information that you provided for us that we haven't necessarily had in the past, it's great to see that kind of thing. I love what Appleseed does here. $100,000 is a big number. So just understand that it's going to be probably more scrutinized in the future. So,
Sure.
yeah, but thank you for what you're doing here. Love it.
I'm an open book. That's on my cell phone.
And the other thing I'll say for that is that Right Steps is heavily audited. We go through a very stringent audit every year because we have other grants. So at any time that I can provide that, that is also a piece of information that I can provide to you if you would need that.
And when I first sent you guys the information, I was just thinking about Right Steps, like what we pay Right Steps. That was in my brain.
Yeah.
Like that's all I was thinking about. And then Patty mentioned, we have a lot of other expenses that are not just Right Steps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. So I provided late Thursday or Friday, I provided an additional statement of something.
Yeah.
From Patty.
Statement of operations.
Yes, she,
Or activity
yes.
Yeah.
and a financial statement.
Each piece of that was valuable, I think. I kind of hoped we'd had that a couple of years ago. It would have been much smoother operation.
Okay.
So. But thank you guys so
Okay.
much.
That's where they voted me in president again. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll leave this up to the council at this point on what you want to do next.
Well, kind of Mayor Kevin, I agree, it's a large chunk of money. It is hard, and, I mean, we've been faithful, I feel like, the last several years in contributing, and I know our goal as a city is not to be in the childcare business, but I think it's been important to help get it off the ground and get it going, and it's a vital resource for our community. We do have, I think, some money budgeted and set aside for that. Just not sure where we'll be next year, but I think if we can do it this year, then I would make a motion to go ahead and contribute this year.
Are we looking like paying $100,000 this year?
What they're requesting.
So that was a motion.
Yeah. That's a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's been a motion, and a second, to go ahead and contribute the $100,000 contribution to Appleseed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstention? All right, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the hard work you do.
Come by anytime.
Call me
Okay.
anytime.
Maybe text
Thank you,
me
Mr.
first.
Miller.
Welcome.
Next on our agenda is a PR fund request. I mistakenly took a plaque out of the PR fund instead of a different fund. The bill itself is for $85, and it's for a retiring member from our redevelopment commission. So I need your permission or your approval of this claim.
I make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Been a motion and a second to approve the claim for $85 for a plaque. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, anyone opposed? All right, thank you, council. Resolution 06-2026. Now, we're gonna get through this, all right? But I wanna make sure council's aware of what all we're doing too, so go ahead and read the gas tracker, but let's talk about it afterwards.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Council, the tracker of 0.8053 is a decrease of 0.9966. So pretty much we have a decrease of 10 cents this time per 100 cubic feet.
Kind of. So, when we ran on this issue in January, where we have a huge increase, what we talked about with Baker Tilly is our next item on the agenda is our electric tracker, which is done quarterly. So that electric tracker has a way to smooth that out over the 3-month time frame. We initially sat down with them Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked between Heather's department and Todd's department and I on, is this the right thing for the city of Rensselaer to do? They're gonna go take the last 3 years of our utility bills, study those, find out if this is the best thing for our customers and if this is the best thing for the city of Rensselaer. It's not that we could ever afford to lose money in one of our utilities, but if we can find a way to make it a lot smoother for all of our customers, I think we gotta give it a try. So they're gonna come back to you with this report probably in a month or so. Have you guys look at it and see if this is the direction the council wants to go. Did I do good there, Todd? Did I miss anything?
Nope.
It was different, and then Heath's back there with his head up too. We didn't invite Heath to the meeting. But about halfway through, we were thinking, oh, a lot of it is having the meter reader and the times that some of the meters are read too that causes some of the fluctuations. So we're going to try to smooth all that stuff out and have a nice report for you guys to review and determine which way you want to go. So any questions you may have for Todd or I on that?
Well, we'll find the best practice.
Would it save on cost too, instead of having them do it monthly
I don't
for
know.
their tracker versus quarterly?
That was our thing. I don't think it saves anything on cost because they still have to go over the monthly data each time. But my biggest concern is I don't want to lose anything.
Right.
I mean, I think the gas utilities done a great job over the last 2 years recovering nicely, and we certainly don't want to slow that down at all. I mean, we've had some bigger projects going on and probably see some bigger projects in the future. Only one we talked about, there's a bigger user that was added this year, last year.
I mean, probably in the past 2 or 3, actually.
So we may not have substantial data on those to be totally accurate. And who knows, we haven't had a cold January like that in a long time. So should be a very interesting report for us to look at. Thank you. So is there a motion to accept the gas tracker?
I make a motion to accept the gas tracker.
Is there a second? All right, there's been a motion and a second to accept the gas tracker as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you, council. Next is Heath on resolution 07-2026, the electric tracker.
Thank you. The electric tractor shows a decrease of 0.000642 per kilowatt hour. On average per house, that will be a decrease of about 45 cents per month.
That's something.
That's something.
Very good.
Well,
Make a motion to accept the gas tracker, or the electric tracker.
Second.
been a motion and a second to accept resolution 07-2026, the electric tracker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. Heath, EV vehicle grant.
Thank you again. With the help of our park superintendent, we took a stab at writing the grant in-house rather than pay somebody $7,500 to do it. We put in there that we would match 20% for a vehicle to replace our aging Acadia. I was told that if you weren't doing a match, nobody was getting the grant. At 20%, it would be about $14,000 for us to get a new vehicle. Most of the trucks and SUVs that would replace what we have are about $70,000. So if we did get approved for that grant, we would need permission to move forward and purchase that vehicle.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where would that, what fund would that come from? Like, who would,
All
where
right.
would the 14,000?
We did budget in for next year in our improvement plan. We budgeted $70,000.
So electric department.
What plans do you have for the Acadia if that were to happen?
We were going to keep it in-house. We were going to get rid of our old red truck that I'm driving and keep falling apart. I know, I want to keep it around, but nobody else likes it. Mrs. Hall decided that she would really like the Acadia. They feel like that would work best for them, what they do in the parks department. She offered to trade me her pickup truck so I could drive that if we went that route.
I'm not sure how we can work that out, but I'm sure we could.
What's your pickup truck? What is it?
And for the council's information also, the gas department now stores the Acadia inside and takes very good care of it.
Oh, they do.
Oh, man. So,
Yeah, I remember that.
and thank you for taking that in there. It's nice to walk into something halfway heated and get into that thing. So, I guess we would need approval for the matching part of the grant if we were to get it.
You want the approval now?
I don't know that we could need it now because we aren't getting it, but just.
When we find out? No.
I'm not sure on this one. When we did the EV charging stations, it was pretty quick turnaround. I think it was within 30 days. And the deadline for this was maybe the 6th we had to have it turned in by, so hopefully within 30 days. And it's running through a lot of the same programs. There was a lot of money left over from that initial stuff they were doing that I'm hoping we get a quick turnaround from it.
I want to make sure council knew about it though before it's surprise, and nobody likes surprises.
So this is just information
Yes,
at
sir.
this point.
All right. Any questions for Heath?
This is white Acadia.
Yeah.
One Donahan.
Yeah. We got from White's.
Yeah, they cut one.
Yeah. Any other questions? If not, moving on to the TIP management report. Jacob.
Thank you, Mayor. So Baker Tilly was kind enough to send me a slideshow, so. Should be ready to go here. Okay, so basically this is Baker Tilly's TIF management report that they presented for us, or put together for us. It's a statutory requirement that the city council be informed of it. Redevelopment was already shown this last Monday, so we have to do this before April 15th, so this is our opportunity to do this. The information in here is very basic. It just goes over what basically were the expenses and revenue for the TIF fund, and what are the things that we spent it on. So this is the chart of the reporting requirements. We're here at the highlighted second part, which is presenting to the council here. These are the 6 people on Redevelopment Commission for 2025. Kevin Smith, Estel George, Jeff Webb, Matt McAleer, Bob Brenneman, and Janice Deno. This is part of the report. This is a list of the TIF allocation areas. Several of these have been combined into the combined Drexel Fairgrounds TIF area. Here is a chart, and by the way, you were sent, this information should be in the meeting packet in a different form. The total revenues for the Drexel consolidated TIF area were $1,133,100.67. And then total expenditures from that were $1,301,953.97. For the Lintner Park TIF area, revenues were $99,644.95, and expenditures were $5,000. You can see the expenses broken down here. The biggest single line item was other services and charges, which I believe the bulk of that was like engineering services and things for the 7th Street project and also the I-65 boring project. These are the grants that were distributed in 2025. All of them were for the facade grant, and then Curbsy was paid administrative fees for our downtown grant. You can see the awardees there as well under the purpose. There were no houses completed under the program, and therefore this page is essentially blank. And then this here is a statement showing basically the current balances in each of the TIF accounts. 2260 is the main one. That's the Drexel Fairgrounds Consolidated TIF, and there is $908,377.20 as of December 31st. I believe. Oh, and this is the debt servicing, which I believe is essentially the bond payment on the firehouse that gets paid out of there every year. It's $371,031 last year. But of course, there's about $5 million left to go on that, so still quite a ways. And that is about it. So I would be happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability. Like I said, this is just an update. There's no action item here. Just you guys need to be informed of this.
And it's uploaded into Gateway.
Yes, they already uploaded it to Gateway.
Okay. One question, is there ways to improve the Drexel TIF?
By improving the property values around there, either by improvement or by cutting out certain parcels that drag it down, which Baker Tilly is working to consult with us on potential solutions there.
There's a number of parcels that were dragging down the amount that we were receiving. Mm-hmm. So they're recommending that we take them out of that TIF district. So
Vacant parcels?
no, not necessarily vacant parcels, but it's the fairgrounds that has no taxation. I think
there's a couple other like fields that are kind of inaccessible and would be difficult to develop. Other like more dilapidated properties, things of that nature. Yeah, both towards the interstate, but also around here downtown. Things like parking lots and stuff like that.
And we can take those out, just take?
Yes, yes, they can be drawn out.
Just have to redraw the boundaries at the, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. So, are there any other questions about the TIF report? Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Moving on, next is our claims approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
One abstention. Passes 4-0. Next is in the unfinished business, council. Committee reports. Don't know that we have any administrative comments. I did send out an email to the council to try to keep up with everything that comes at us. A lot coming at us, so I was just trying to hopefully catch up to everybody. The agreements on the trail and the farmers market, Attorney Salmons did get to the commissioners and their attorney. Once their attorney looks at it, and if he has any changes, we'll bring it to council, see if you are in agreement with that, and either allow me to sign it, or I'm not, how else would that work, Todd?
I think we asked to allow you to sign it. I think it has to be approved by the fiscal body of the council. But
right. Yeah. So hopefully they'll be done with that soon enough, and we can bring it back to you guys to take a look at it. The other one that's in the Attorney Beaver's corner is the joint TIF area that we just put water and sewer and gas in. We have had some interest in some new building out there, so trying to get Attorney Bureau to move a little quicker prior to the businesses starting their building. So hopefully we'll have that agreement here before too long to have you guys look at also. And the one that comes up a lot of times lately has been the number of little flags floating around the city. Comcast is putting in fiber and doing a little bit of work with our electric department. I don't want to steal East Thunder, so I'll save that for later. And then 470 North Colon, we did not get any bids on for that piece of property. But I think it's also important, like we talked today, that we are selective on what type of person buys that property for development. So we met with the redevelopment commission, and I think it's important that we take our time and like I said, be selective on who's going to purchase that property. Well, the only last thing I have is at some point we probably need a work session. We are done with the park master plan, and now's the time for us to kind of get in direction on what the council wants to do on a couple of big projects within the park area. So I'll try to get with Todd or Shelby and find out how to structure a work session, and then, like I said, I'll just need your guys' input on what direction you want to go. All right. All right. Administrative comments, Shelby? Mr. Watson?
I have nothing tonight.
Mr. Reaver? Mrs. Weiser?
Nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Arnold?
Sure. We talked a little bit tonight with regard to our contributions to outside entities and looking a little closer at those with the uncertainty that's coming down with the budgets and the taxations and Senate Bill 01 and all those kinds of things. And I really think we need to look at as a whole, and not just in one area of their contributions, just as a whole, and kind of maybe tighten our belts up a little bit if we can, if it makes sense, and we can still provide the services that we need to provide to do the right thing. So.
And part of that work session, and I'm not sure what's allowed and what isn't allowed, but part of that work session has to be something from Baker Tilly or AIM on where we're going to be at the next couple of years, so we know how to tighten our belts. And Shelby has some great ideas too, that anybody that is interested in contribution, maybe you need to get in front of the council before the year's budget's been developed. So, yeah, great point. Thank you.
Well, there may be, with regards to contributions specifically, maybe we could discuss how to, a more structured approach to that, not just someone coming to the council and asking for money and we vote on it. You know, maybe there's guidelines on what kind of organizations can ask and what amounts they can ask for and those kinds of things. So I think just general guidelines to that would help too.
All right. Thank you. Anything else? Mr. Overton?
I have nothing at this time.
All right. Hearing none, we'll move into superintendent's reports. Chief Anderson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an update on the hiring process. We have staff interviews with 3 candidates next Wednesday, and then I will reach out to the board members to set up a time for what I anticipate is bringing 2 back for interviews in front of the Board of Public Works before the conditional offer is made. So that would obviously be in 4 weeks' time. The officers, and I've been hearing a lot of radio traffic, as part of our duties for cleanup week, are going out again as usual and tagging vehicles that fit the state statute for abandoned. So I know Mayor's gotten several phone calls from people as well as myself. So we normally try to get those removed before cleanup week actually starts. So most of them, the vast majority of them are taken care of by the owners themselves. But typically, on average, probably 5 or 6 that we have to tow on our own. So they kind of take care of themselves on their own. But that's all I have.
All right, any questions for Chief?
On those abandoned vehicles, do we have a lot of repeats each year?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
they move it and then it's
Yeah,
there again for the next year?
they'll disappear for a while and then work their way back. So yeah, it's pretty consistent. The same people overall.
Anything else? Attorney Sammons, you're up.
Thanks, Mayor. I have nothing specific to report. Just been working on several projects, some of which were discussed tonight.
All right, thank you. Heather?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing this evening.
Jacob?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things to report. First, I figured I should bring you guys up to speed and give a little more information about a grant that we'll be applying for here in the next few weeks. It's through Okra. I think I may have brought this up at a previous city council meeting. But I'll give a little more detail on that. Basically, it's a grant for up to $350,000 per community that applies, with a 10% match, I believe. And then it's for individual homeowners are able to receive up to $25,000 for roof, heating, cooling, and water heater replacement, and then certain lighting and electrical upgrades, as well as ADA accessibility. So I've been in touch with a few local organizations, such as the library and the community center, gotten them on board. It seems like they're interested in helping us out. The first stage of this is going to be data collection, essentially. So I'm currently working with Curbsy to get some basically surveys made up to distribute to people, so that we can collect information on how many potential applicants we might have. So I'm excited about it. It'll be due in July, so hopefully we'll be finding out around about August if we've been awarded, and then things can get moving from there. I've also have a couple of trainings coming up that I'll be attending, one this Thursday on commercial accessibility code, and then one on April 28th, that's through the DNR, and it's more floodplain training. I found the last one very important. And then finally, I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on R&M, because somebody, I believe, had asked about it, if there were plans for that. They have consulted my office about getting a demo permit for it. So it looks like that's the option that they've decided to go with. So I'm excited to see something happen with that building finally.
Yes. Any other questions for Jacob?
Yeah, that was it if there's no questions.
We discussed several times prior about the junk store near the river on College Avenue. They've made some promises and made a little bit of progress.
Yeah, they've made a little bit of progress, but it's not been as quick as we would have liked to see. So I'll be following up with them again to light a fire, hopefully.
You know, a little because Jasper's a long way off, but that'd be a nice, that's what I said last year,
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Likewise, the building across the street, the business across the street, that seems like it's become abandoned. And there's a large commercial vehicle there that seems abandoned.
And Mount Hood you're talking about. Okay. I can look into that and follow up.
I'll see if, like, box truck or whatever I'm trying to think. I'll call and see who has that district, make sure it gets tagged as part of cleanup week, if it hasn't been already.
I understand they've been shut down for a while.
I haven't seen any motion there for a while.
No, I haven't seen anything either. I'll get in touch with the owners and see what their plans are for that structure as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Yeah. Chief Haun.
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier tonight, we approved 5 firefighter applications, so they'll be enrolled in the academy here probably tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, so we'll get those guys in the academy, which starts April 30th. As you may or may not recall, Jasper County is looking, or are currently doing a fire study to whether or not they want to create a fire territory countywide, or a fire district countywide. That kickoff meeting was last Wednesday, and there's another meeting this Wednesday. It's going to be for several months coming on down the pipe, so I'll keep you informed of how that thing goes. And then I've been asked to attend or represent Rensselaer at the FDIC convention in Indianapolis. That will be the 22nd of April through the 24th, so I'll be down there for that. And I'll entertain any questions.
So which one, the district or territory?
We don't know. That's what the study's for.
No, you.
What do I want?
Okay, that's enough. Not gonna do
There's
that.
good and bad about both. There really is. I don't like the district. I don't like who you answer to.
Can you forward us those emails too? Because I haven't seen anything from
Yes,
that
I will.
company.
Yes, I will. You mean the meeting invite emails, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah,
I mean, it'd be nice to know when those are gonna take place.
I will do that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Heath, what's up?
This week we have a couple of guys going through CDL training. They're supposed to do their driving towards the end of this week, so hopefully that'll go well. Comcast project is going to be very extensive. We got started on it briefly. They accepted one of our make-readies. We did a primary pull up by Pizza Hut. I don't know if anybody saw us up there changing one out. We're waiting for them to approve the other make-readies I've sent to them. The idea is they will be sending Elliott, which is a contractor, up to help us. This is paid for by Comcast, but basically they will be working for us. It's going to be a very active, very busy summer. We're probably going to get a lot of phone calls, as many things as we're doing. It's going to be a very big project. Hope everybody's patient with it, the public. There's going to be a lot going on. But hopefully we can get a lot of poles replaced out of this, and their bank readies. Every pole they see that they think needs replaced, they document it. But things that we believe need replaced, I'm also putting those in there. And so far, it doesn't seem like they're going to have an issue with what we would like to fix. So it's going to be a nice upgrade to our system as long as they accept all the make-readies I've sent them.
No, I like the idea of somebody gonna make our infrastructure stronger with no cost. I would put in, the inconvenience now to get that done. I think that's important.
I think the one thing that was important too with Mr. Rover and Mr. Salmon's coming up with the pole agreement with Comcast. That was not an easy time for us.
Sure.
So at least we now know why. They are really asking for a lot. And so far, they're agreeing to everything, so.
We have a long ways to go,
Yeah.
though.
Any questions for Heath?
One of those light poles north of town, that 231 has been out there forever. They're not used. That RMC.
Next to the one that
Oh,
they replaced with the metal one.
It's going real low out around them or something. I've asked people about that. That's where they're not in use anyway, so, but
We've received a lot of phone calls in our office.
I bet you do too.
I just give them a number to who they're supposed to call.
Could be the bright speed poles too. You're talking about the lower hanging ones?
Yeah, they're real low, wasn't
It could be the ones on the
On the
other.
west side?
Yeah,
side,
yeah, right.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. We always in touch with bright speed, so. Joe, you're up next.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to speak of.
All right. Mr. Wilson.
The gas portion of I-65 is done and completed. The line is hot now, so we're completely done with that. Our new hire starts Monday. Randall Wilmington will be starting with us, and the guys are just playing catch up from the past week, and we're going to work on a service line tomorrow. So.
All right. Any questions? Bryce, you're up next.
Thank you, Mayor. Before we jump into the projects, one of our sanitation employees who came before the council last year was not able to make it this evening, so he asked if I would propose a closure request for St. Augustine School. If you recall, they did the spring bazaar last year. Same thing, they're requesting closure of Susan Street between McKinley and Weston for their fundraising festival on May the 2nd from 3 p.m. to approximately 10 p.m.
Will you repeat those streets?
Susan Street between McKinley and Weston. Same section that they close every day for recess.
I make the motion. And close the streets.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to allow St. Augustine to close Susan Street on May 2nd from
3 p.m. to approximately 10 p.m.
3 p.m. to approximately 10 a.m.
10 p.m.
That is a Saturday, that is the yard sale day.
Oh.
Yeah. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for the projects. Atlas has started the lead service line replacements. They started last Tuesday. So we'll start making our way through the Monday route, and they'll migrate towards the downtown area and keep plugging away at those until the contingency funds are expended on that project. I-65. We got one water service left to put in at Burger King in an effort to try to get this project closed out. The gas department agreed to do that last four Gatlin so we can get that water service done and get all the underground wrapped up. The Lockmuir Group for CCMG, we have a pre-construction meeting next Monday. One minor thing to get hashed out with them and NDOT regarding the corner of Front and Washington here, but it seems like everything should be on track to get that rolling shortly after the week. 7th Street, the grade work started late last week, and we're anticipating hopefully Mother Nature cooperates and we can see some asphalt going in as soon as by the end of this week. There's several other businesses here in Rensselaer that they have on the schedule, so I noticed today that some of their equipment was gone, so I suspect they're getting the grading ready on those, so once they start paving, they won't have to stop. Wastewater plant project, the excavation on the clarifiers has started. Sounds like it's slow going with Mother Nature, but they are trucking the sand. We provided them a storage site back by the brush pile, so there's no road time. Their trucks are getting loaded and dumped and back in 4 minutes, is what they told me today. So once Mother Nature starts cooperating, I suspect that'll speed up pretty quickly. Was notified this afternoon that the farmers market, we should have the plans in our court for review, hopefully by the end of this week, early next week. Get those marked up with any revisions we would like to see, get that turned around, and hopefully be at the next council meeting asking for permission to go out for bid. And then lastly, remind everybody, April 25th, which is a Saturday, is the electronics recycling day down at the recycling center through Northwest Indiana Solid Waste District.
All right. Any questions for Bryce? Thank you for doing a press release also on the number of locates. I just had a lot of people at the Home and Garden Show that were asking about all the little flags around. So
Todd and Heath can attest to it. We're averaging about 25 to 30 locates a day in the county right now.
Wow. Well, thanks for doing that release for us. Any other questions for Bryce? Addie, you're last.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I wanted to share a few of our upcoming events in May. The Indiana Parks and Recreation Association reached out to us at our office and were wondering if we would host an event from all of the parks departments around the state. So on May 5th, we're going to host that group at our park headquarters. So we'll do breakfast and food in the morning, and then we'll do sessions across the street at the library. So we're really excited to meet some of those people and make new connections. And then on May 9th, we have our Parks, Pins, and Hamilton event at Filson Park, and that's our duck pin bowling event. So we have 10 businesses and other sponsors who will host a lane at their business and then a couple of the parks, and that's at 3 p.m. You can play duck pin bowling, and then after that we'll have Hamilton, the movie, at Filson Park, and that's in support of the Good Samaritan Food Pantry. So it'll be a food drive, and just a good Saturday to get people moving and out together. And then May 21st is our first Third Thursdays event at Filson Park. And then May 23rd is the pool's grand opening. So we're super excited to kick off the first day at LaRue Memorial Day weekend. And then May 30th is our pickleball tourney. So we have lots of events in May. And then we will also be hosting 3 USSSA tourneys the first 3 weekends of May. So it's full swing, the weather's nice, and we're getting back outside, so that's really great. And then we had a tournament this past weekend for the girls. They were from Cherville, and it was great. We had kids from the high school working our concession stand, and the weather was great. A lot of people were there, and they got back to us and said that they were really impressed with our field conditions and our facilities and all of our staff. So that was awesome to hear, and they're now considering hosting their World Series tournament at Blocker Fields. So it was just great to hear that they had a good time and enjoyed the facility out there. And that's everything as far as updates. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Any questions, ready? All right.
Memorial Day weekend, first day when the pool will be open.
Yep.
And people can come and get in for free, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's right, tell a few of them.
Yeah, it's really great.
Kids, they have to be a certain age to just come by themselves, I'm assuming, don't they do?
Not that I'm aware of, but luckily we have lifeguards on staff
Yeah,
to
I mean,
monitor everybody. Yeah.
Stacy, have anything for council? All right. Anyone else? If not,
Second.
been a motion, second to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.